Luca. Grazie.
Luca, thanks for having us. Would you like to tell us a bit about your farm? You're an agronomist, so I imagine you have a lot to share.
Sure, we're located in Montalto di Castro, Italy, very close to the coast. As you can see, this is a tomato field, about 20 hectares in size. We're roughly 50 days post-transplant, so we're in the early fruit set stage, with some fruits still setting.
Do you grow other crops on the farm as well?
Yes, our main crop is processing tomatoes, about 70 hectares this year. We also grow melons, asparagus, and rotate with wheat.
So, processing tomatoes. I can see the plants look great and give a nice feeling of uniformity. One thing I notice is the significant slope of the land.
Yes, even though we're quite close to the sea, the terrain here isn't exactly textbook for growing processing tomatoes. Our first year was 2 years ago, and we tried planting tomatoes across the whole field. We found that the harvesting machine struggled, so we decided to leave out some areas. The elevation difference is about 23 to 25 meters at the highest point, with lateral slopes reaching up to 19%.
So, Luca, why did you decide to install Aqua Traxx FlowControl?
Last season, I had some issues with irrigation uniformity. With a standard drip tape, I couldn't use high pressure, which meant less water was delivered on the slopes. This was clearly visible at harvest. Production was excellent at the bottom, but on the steeper areas, the plants just couldn't develop properly.
So, uneven terrain. Definitely a challenge. But your goal here is to maximize yield and quality, especially since you supply the processing industry, which has pretty strict standards.
Exactly. This crop goes entirely to the processing industry and will be turned into peeled tomatoes or concentrate, depending on factory needs. One of the main issues caused by water stress is blossom end rot, which is a major defect for processors. Thanks to FlowControl, I've achieved very satisfying irrigation uniformity. We're still in the early stages, but as we approach harvest, I expect to see very low, if not zero, incidents of blossom end rot thanks to this drip tape and the improved uniformity.
And you also do fertigation, right? Do you apply fertilizers through the drip irrigation system?
Yes, exactly. We use a traditional fertigation unit installed before the filter. In fertigation, we mainly apply nitrogen ammonium nitrate in these early stages, and later we'll start adding some calcium.
How was the installation process? Did you notice any differences in terms of mechanical strength or special precautions you had to take? How did you find working with Aqua Traxx FlowControl?
Honestly, compared to standard drip tape, there aren't any major differences, which was actually a plus when trying out FlowControl. For the workers operating the machinery, it's just like any other tape. It's much more resistant. This one is a 10mm, so it's more robust. I'm satisfied with its durability. Here we have a problem with crows pecking and damaging the tape, so we're forced to bury it during installation. We were already used to doing that, and we chose Aqua Traxx because it doesn't clog when buried. Then, once the plants reach a stage where they cover the ground, we bring the tape back to the surface. Even during withdrawal, it holds up well and doesn't get punctured.
So you're seeing uniform growth, but what about your yield expectations? Do you anticipate a higher overall production with this irrigation system in terms of quantity?
Definitely. We're a highly productive farm and yields are generally high in our area. We usually harvest an average between 110 and 120 tons per hectare. Last time we grew tomatoes here, we recorded up to 150 tons in the most productive spots. It's still early to say for this season, but the plants look healthy. Like they say, well begun is half done. I expect a much more uniform yield and probably a higher average overall.
So, Luca, how would you summarize the benefits you've seen from using Aqua Traxx FlowControl?
The most immediate benefit is irrigation uniformity. We're about 60 days post-transplant, and there are no bare spots. It's all green and fully covered. What does that mean? It means higher yield and consistent quality across the field.
Let's talk a bit about the future, Luca. You've already told me about the progress you've made in recent years. You've never stopped and you're constantly evolving. Where do you see your farm in the next few years? What are your plans?
Well, as I mentioned, we're already in a growth phase. What we're missing now is a bit of automation. This year, I've started testing Toro's automation system, and I have to say I'm happy with it. It allows me to focus on other tasks while the system handles irrigation scheduling. I think this is going to be the key. Being able to produce more and manage more hectares with the same team of people, thanks to the tools that automation and technology provide.
Luca, thank you for your time. We hope to see you again soon.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.